So this is my thoughts on food in Sri Lanka after traveling the country for 2 weeks. A lot of people told me that food in Sri Lanka was good, but it didn't really compare to India. I have to agree, India, it's bigger, so there's more variety, but I was actually pretty impressed. I was happy about every meal we ate almost, with the exception of maybe some Western food, maybe some hotel breakfasts. But other than that, everything was very tasty, so I wanted to break it all down for you guys so you know what to expect when you're traveling to Sri Lanka. Let's start with breakfast. Hoppers and string hoppers dominate the breakfast scene in Sri Lanka. Regular hoppers are almost like a pancake that's cooked in a special pan. It's like a little bowl. It's made with fermented rice and fermented coconut water. So you can eat them on their own, or you can throw an egg in them. The string version is made with rice flour. It's basically like a vermicelli noodle, rice noodle, but it's formed into these patties. And they usually come with coconut sambal, which is basically dried coconut with chili, and a dal or maybe a potato curry. Dal is their lentils. This was a meal we were happy to eat day after day, but you can also get a Western style breakfast with toast and an egg, maybe some jam. All the breakfast we had was served with fresh fruit and usually some black tea. Now, if you're a coffee lover like me, you're going to be pretty disappointed in Sri Lanka's coffee scene. To get your fix, you're going to probably want to find a place that does espresso. There are good cafes in pretty much every city, but don't expect to get good coffee in local restaurants. Now the tea, on the other hand, it's really good in Sri Lanka. I'm not a huge tea guy, but I did enjoy every cup of tea that I had there. Sarah likes tea a lot. She said it was really good there and it tasted fresher and kind of cleaner than normal English tea. Roti is a good option for breakfast or lunch. I found that the roti there isn't quite as good as what you'd get in India or in Malaysia, but you know, it's freshly cooked dough, so you can't really go wrong. There are also a ton of great bakeries in Sri Lanka. They do like fried and baked goods like samosas, fish rolls, Scotch eggs, and they're great for lunch. You pop in and grab some stuff to go. They're cheap, they're easy, and they usually have sandwiches as well. We hit that up a lot. Sri Lanka actually has pretty decent bread, and their desserts are pretty good. They're not overly sweet like India's. They're just more like a British style. Make sure you try roti kotu. It's kind of a stir fry with roti in it. They chop up a roti and stir fry it together with meat and vegetables. It's a really kind of heavy meal, but it's really tasty. Now when it comes to dinner, or really any meal, the best thing going in Sri Lanka is rice and curry. So we're just sitting down for some rice and curry. It's lunchtime, we're in Colombo, and this is our favorite meal in Sri Lanka. The whole time we've been traveling here, we've been eating this all over the place. Basically, you get a big plate of rice, you get a bunch of small little side dishes, and you get like a meat in a curry, fish, chicken, shrimp, squid, or cuttlefish. There's lots of different options, sometimes even pork, beef. So I got the fish, Sarah got the shrimp, and then we'll see what other little side dishes we get. I believe there's 5 of them, sometimes 4 of them. But that's always the highlight of the meal for me because it's different every time. You don't know what you're going to get. It's a really good way to try new things. So our food has arrived. We got everything laid out here. We got a good sample of stuff. Let's see if I can go through it all here. Lentils, carrots, eggplant, jackfruit, coconut sambal. Sarah's got the shrimp curry. I got the fish curry, a little bit of papadums with rice, and we're just gonna mix it all together. And it's just the most amazing meal. We've actually had all these, I think, before. There's probably not many things that we haven't had before, but other things include like onion sambal, mango, like a mango chutney, potato curries. I'm sure there's probably tons that we haven't tried.
Like green beans.
Green beans, dragon, what do they call those? Fingers. Okra.
Ladies' fingers.
Ladies' fingers, okra. That's pretty good too. So much good food though. I'm really excited because I love the jackfruit and I love the eggplant one. And we've only had it once or twice before, so this is a pretty good find. Salads in Sri Lanka are great. We had some incredible vegetable and fruit salads. They're simple but really flavorful. Mango salad. Grilled fish is a highlight of travel in Sri Lanka for me. If you're along the coast where it's caught fresh that day, you gotta have it. Fish is something that I don't really have that much experience with, so I really wanted to try to eat a lot of it in Sri Lanka. So I tried as many varieties as I could. In the end, my favorites were red snapper, mahi mahi, mullet, barracuda, and parrotfish in that order. I liked the red snapper because it was kind of a good combination of that chickeny white meat texture and kind of a fishiness as well. There's also really good crab, cuttlefish, shrimp, and other seafood in Sri Lanka. Crab is a pain in the ass, but you can actually get it for pretty cheap in the streets there. So I'd recommend just grabbing a crab and just to try it.
Meat's good in there, I just can't get to it.
Beachside restaurants will display their fish, their fresh caught fish and shrimp and everything out on this table in the evening. So don't be afraid to go there and ask lots of questions. Tell them what you want, what you like, how many people you need to feed. Ask them the price, and you'll have a good meal, I guarantee that. There's actually quite a bit of Chinese food in Sri Lanka, probably because of the growing Chinese tourist industry. Now, we didn't eat too much of it because we live in China, but I found that it's kind of more like American Chinese than the Chinese food I eat in China. With the exception of the spring roll, Sri Lanka has its own kind of spring roll. It's really tasty. You should try that. You should also try the deviled dishes, usually chicken, fish, or shrimp. It's like a sweet and sour with some like chilies in it. Kind of a mix of Chinese food and Indian food. Busy local eateries are quite cheap, but you probably have to get off the tourist trail to find them. Most tourist area restaurants have Western options and versions of local food that usually cost more than what you'd pay elsewhere, but generally the views are better, maybe the restaurant interior is nicer. Alcohol is kind of a pain in Sri Lanka. Most tourist restaurants will have beer and other mixed drinks for about $2 to $3 for a big beer. Otherwise, you'll have to find a local bar, which is just like a booth with some tables set up around it, or a wine shop, which is basically the same thing without the tables. But you can expect to pay between $150 and $300 for a beer at those places, and liquor is definitely cheaper there as well. You can usually Google map search wine, and some locations will pop up where you can buy it. We paid about 1,300 rupees for a bottle of gin that was, I think, about 500 milliliters. The local alcohol is the cheapest option. It's called arak, and it's a liquor that's made with coconut and rice. I found it's not that bad actually if you mix it with coconut water or a ginger beer or ginger ale. Most cities have a ban on alcohol between 2 and 5, but some places you go in and it looks closed and they'll be like, yeah, we'll sell them to you. So you can get it, just not legally. I think that about covers it. If you want to learn more about traveling to Sri Lanka, watch my other video. I cover accommodations, transportation, pretty much everything else other than food. So you can watch that by clicking right, let's say here? No, here. So thanks for watching. Subscribe below, hit the bell icon to get yourself notified. And you should head to Sri Lanka in a hurry. And when you're there, try the rice and curry.